What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be installing the new lift and wheels I got for Christmas. I ended up going with the MotoFab 2-inch rear and 3-inch front leveling kit, and I already started on the back, and so far it's looking really good and going pretty easy. The only tricky part is getting your jack stands right and lowering the axle just enough to get your blocks in. But before I continue, let me show you all the mods I got for my Tacoma from Christmas, and I'll have all the links in the description if you're interested in them. Alright, so starting with the interior of my Tacoma, the first thing is these Oedro floor mats, and that I installed in the last video, so if you remember that, they work really good, and so far they've been holding up good, so I'm really proud of those. But for the next thing I got for Christmas is going to be this shift knob. I really like it because it has this red line through it, and it just matches with all my other stuff, like these cup holder inserts I got for Christmas. So, and just really, it goes with my truck, it matches it. And I don't know if that goes with the TRD Pro Tacoma, but it fit mine, so I'm really glad with that. The next thing is this cup holder insert. Again, they have these red lines, so it matches. And before I had this, you just throw everything down and it cluttered all this area, cluttered it all up. So with this, you can organize everything, has room for your charger to go. So I really like that. Alright, so the next thing is this magnetic phone mount. My favorite thing is it sticks to this, what's it called, trim piece. So I really like that. So whatever your preferences are, you can put it down here if you want. And it's not like many other ones where you put it in this air vent and it blocks the airflow. So I really don't like those. But it's really simple. All you do is put your phone and it's mounted. And I find it doesn't really block the view while you drive, so that's good. And you can also do it horizontally, so I really like that. And as I was driving, so far it's never fell, so that's good. But I only had it for like 3 days, I think, whenever Christmas was. So I'll keep you updated on how that is. But for the next thing is one of my favorite things in the interior, so I'll talk about that. Alright, the last thing I got for the interior of my truck and my most favorite is floor LED lights. All you do is open the app, turn them on, and they're really bright and I really like them, and you can choose from all these different colors, so that's what's really cool. But I like keeping mine on like this dark blue. It looks really nice. But I probably should have made a YouTube video on installing these, because all the videos I watched, they ran it through the floor trim, but what we did was take out the center console and store all the wires underneath there. It just made for a much cleaner install. But I really like these. They're really cool, and I think they're going to look really good at night when I'm driving. Alright, so first is these tires and rims. I got them from Custom Offsets, and I just really like the look of them. It's my style. And here's the MotoFab leveling kit. And again, we already started on that side, and so far it's been really easy, so I'm really happy about that. But here are the rims and tires. And moving on to the back, what we already have installed is these back tail lights. I really like them. I like the blackout color, and it's just way better than these red OEM. I'm not really a fan of those. And these were on Amazon too, fairly cheap. I'll have the link in the description. But I get my license like in 5 days, so I'm really excited, and I'm trying to just customize this truck to my style and how I like it, and so far I'm really liking that. And I definitely think these lights go really good with this white truck I have, and we made a video a while back of installing lights, so I don't want to remake that same video. But let's get started back with the lift kit, and I'm really excited to see how the wheels are going to turn out.
Alright guys, it's actually the next day, and like Tyler said, we've been putting the MotoFab lift kit on. This is the kit. So the front is basically just these, they go under the struts in the front, 3-inch spacer. And then the back is just these blocks. They don't have any instructions for the back. The front is pretty detailed instructions, but the back is super easy. So let me show you. Basically all you do is loosen up the 2 U-bolts, and then you slip this block in and then bolt it all back up, and that's all it is to the back. We may end up changing these shocks because it looks like they're kind of maxed out. Alright, Tyler's taking off the 4 nuts on the U-bolts. I think it's a 19. You know, to make make sure you got everything with jack stands and a jack, because really nothing's holding that axle up but those U-bolts. And you want to position your body too where your head's not under the axle. Alright, you got all the nuts off. You want to get out from under it. Now you can take those U-bolts off. You have to pull hard. Alright, take that bump stock off. We had to get a chisel to pry this apart, and then we'll slip the little 2-inch lift under it. Alright, Tyler got the little block in. Now we actually had to take that shock apart on the bottom just so we can get enough room. So he's tightening the shock back up. Got the bump stock back on. And we'll put the U-bolts on and move back to the front. The back is super easy.
All right, we got this side completed. The side's all bolted in. It looks really good. And custom offset in the package, it came with these rings. Do you know what they're for?
Not 100%, but they go in the tire like this. You pick the size you need. But we're not gonna need it with your truck because the tire hub is the same size as the hub right here. So none of these would fit. So this diameter right here is the same as the tire, so we don't need these. I guess if you had I guess they send this just depending on what kind of vehicle it's going on.
But now we can install the tires.
This wheel has, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like 12 holes in it. So I guess whatever, this ram would work on pretty much any bolt pattern you have. Tires are heavy. And you got to get new lug nuts. And they send you this little slimline socket to go in here.
And we got this tire installed, and I think it looks really good so far.
Still got to put the center cap on it.
It's coming along really good. All right, we just took the strut off, but we didn't film it because we were trying to figure it out and we were following these instructions, which they're pretty good. But we're definitely gonna film the other side since we know how to do it now.
Yeah, so now all you gotta do is put that spacer on top, use those same nuts, tighten that down, and then put it back in place. I thought the front was gonna be a little harder than this, but it's actually pretty easy too. I guess since it's really just I don't know if you call this a body lift, but more of a little spacer lift. You're not changing out any of the control arms and all that stuff. But we're gonna go get a front end alignment after this. Alright, we got this side all done. It was kind of tough to get this strut back in. Tyler had to push down on this real hard while I pushed it in, but the only issue, this linkage is not lining up with the sway bar, and the instructions say once you take that side off, you should be able to swing the sway bar down, and then it should line up. And then after I get that lined up, then I'll connect these brackets and stuff. So let's go do that side, and hopefully that sway bar will line up, because that's really the only issue that I'm kind of worried about. First step, we're going to remove all the brake hoses so we'll have enough wiggle room to move stuff around. don't want to put too much pressure on the brake lines and ABS line. And then we will remove this cotter pin. Do the sway bar link. Now I'm going to disconnect the upper control arm. Have to disconnect this completely. I'm going to take this nut, turn it upside down, screw it back on, and that would give me a flat surface to hit on with the hammer so I don't mess up any threads. And I'll do that in a little bit. Disconnect this strut. Yeah, the instruction says it takes 1 to 2 hours to do this. I think you could do each side in maybe 30, 45 minutes. Alright, we got the bolt out the bottom of the strut. We still got 3 nuts up here. So now I'm going to try to knock this ball joint loose. Just like that. And we'll work on getting these 3 disconnected. Yeah, this is a pretty easy job. And this sway bar does, once you disconnect it, you can move it. So that's good to know. So it should be fine lining up. I got all these off. One thing, this brake line is tight. You have to be careful with that. You gotta push down. Alright, we got the strut out. With this little spacer on it. You just use the original nuts that you took off the spacer, off the strut. And one of the hard things is when you have these little bolts that go in from the top and they have to go into these holes. It's hard to get that to line up through the little bracket up there. That's really the only issue we had. Other than that, it's pretty easy. Alright, when you put this in, you can put it in backwards. See how you have 2 threaded holes and then 1 threaded hole? That one needs to go in the back. So you have to look at how this is going to sit down in this little carriage. So it's either going to sit like this or 180 degrees that way. And this would be in backwards because the one little bolt hole is all the way in the back. So it is kind of hard to get in. You have to push down and squeeze it in, so it sucks if you'd put it in backwards and have to redo it all. Alright, the easiest way I found to get these little bolts in here, get you something short, you drop it down and you can line up the hole that way. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to line that up. And don't tighten them all the way down until you get all 3 of them in.
All right, we got the lift kit all finished up. The sway bar link, it worked great. Once we had the other side off, we was able to get it in. Got everything torqued down. So now we'll put the last 2 tires on, take it out, and do a final reveal of it. So stay tuned, and let's get this finished up. Here's the center cap when you get that in. Truck looks awesome. So 2-3 inch lift makes a huge difference. We're going to take it tomorrow to get a front end alignment. I learned that mistake with my Duramax. I drove to New Orleans and back without the alignment, and it ate up the front tires.
All right, we got the lift kit and the tires 100% complete. I think it looks really good and it makes the truck look 100 times better.
I think it looks bigger than a 2 and a 3 inch lift. It gives it a nice little stance to it.
I think it's perfect how it is.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I'm gonna have to give the truck a nice detail before school because I got a lot of bug stains all on it. So, and make sure you go check out our description below. I listed all the mods and accessories I got for Christmas there. I think they're really good and you might like them. But make sure you follow us on Instagram at Swamp Boys Garage, and we'll see you in the next one.